Back again with the Moraine Valley Library Black History Curation Collection, Black History Month Curation Collection. It's Dewitt Scott here to talk about another of my many books that I'm discussing for the project. This particular book is actually the first and only book of poetry that I have included in the collection. It is a book entitled Don't Cry, Scream. It is written by Dr. Haki Madhubuti and is actually published in 1969. So it has some time behind it, right? But it's a book of poetry, and it is what I believe a revolutionary work of poetry. So written in 1969 by Haki Madhubuti. Dr. Madhubuti was one of the main figures in what is now known as the Black Arts Movement. And the Black Arts Movement was the artistic arm of what's known as the Black Power Movement. So the Black Arts Movement was centered in the 1960s and 70s, and it was a group of artists, poets, musicians, visual artists, painters, sculptors, and a list of different types of people who consciously worked to bring a Black consciousness to their art. And the entire goal was to mirror the Black Power movement, not necessarily the Civil Rights movement, but the Black Power movement, a lesser known movement, but just as impactful, taking place at the same time, usually identified with Malcolm X, Assata Shakur, the Black Panthers, Angela Davis, these groups of people, right? The, not necessarily core, but Melania Karenga. That was the political arm. This, Hakeem Madhubuti, Nikki Giovanni, Amiri Baraka, and others, they represent the Black Arts Movement, the artistic arm. This particular work was one of the first types of books where the poetry was written in the most non-conformist, non-traditional way. So the language used is what we know as Black slang, right? African-American vernacular. The topics talk about police brutality. They talk about growing up in inner city, all Black neighborhoods. They talk about poverty from a different sort of angle. And it's really a revolutionary work. I think many people don't know about the Black Arts Movement. They don't know how big it is, and they don't know that many of the leaders of the Black Arts Movement are still living to this day, Dr. Madhubuti being one. This book could be a great introduction to anyone looking to understand or even begin to think about the Black Arts Movement, to even look it up, right? There are a lot of different sources that you can find information, but this here can be your first step, your gateway into understanding the Black Arts Movement. I always loved the book just because it was just a different type of poetry, a poetry that I can connect with personally. So I recommend anyone to take a look at it and use it as a stepping stone to understanding the Black Arts Movement. Very important, lesser known movement, but very important and something that people should know for Black History Month.